Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Giribara Dhari, Jaya Giribara Dhari. Jaya Giribara Dhari. Yasodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana, Yasodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana, Jamuna Tira Banachari, Yamuna Tira Banachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Ho Vishnupad Paramahansa's Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Ho Vishnupad Paramahansa's Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavind Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki, Shri Mathura Dham Ki, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Jamna Mai Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki, Sankirtan Yagna Ki, Brihad Midanga Ki, Samved Bhakta Vinda Ki, Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol, all glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Mushmudaya Krishna Putla Shata Kapal Krishna Zayanti Namne Prabhupada Saitam Prakasavata Picharam Katam Sadhu Bhagavad Patate Namo Mushmudaya Krishna Putla Shata Zayanti Namaste Sasate Deva Nirvishesha Shunyadi Paschatya Desatane. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're going to continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 47th chapter. And today we're going to study verse 28 and 29. I'll just read verse 28 and then we will recite 29 together. Shruyatam priya sandesho bhavanti nama sukha. Yeah, I'm going to do 28. Just read myself and then 29 we will do together. Shruyatam priya sandesho bhavanti nam sukhavaha yam adaya gato bradra aham bhartu rahasakara. Translation by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. My good ladies, now please hear your beloved's message, which I, the confidential servant of my master, have come here to bring you. Now 29, so we'll read it together. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhavanti na viyogo me nahi sarvatmana kvachit yatha bhutani bhuteshu kam vayam agni jalam mahi tataham cha manaha prana bhutendriya gunashraya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhavati na viyogo me nahi sarvatma kvachid yatha bhutani bhuteshu yatha kam vayam agni jalam mahi tataham cha mana prana bhutendriya gunashraya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhavanti nam viyogo me nahi sarvatmana kvachit yatha bhutani bhuteshu kham vayagnir jalam mahi tataham cha mana prana bhutendriya gunashraya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhavati nam yoga me nahi sarvatmana kvachit yatha bhutani bhuteshu amragni jalamvahi tatham tum samana bhutendriya ganashraya. Shri Bhagavan Mananachit. Yatha bhutani bhuteshu. Kambaragni jalamahi. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Antim Yogo me Nahi Sarvatmana Kvachit Yatha Bhutani Bhuteshu Kaham Vayam Agni Tatham Cha Mana Prana Bhutendriya Gunashriya. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Bhavati Nam Yogo me Nahi Sarvatmana Kvachit Yatha Bhutani Bhuteshu Kaham Vairagnir Jalam Mahi Tatham Cha Mana Prana Bhutendriya Gunashriya. Word for word meaning. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. The Supreme Lord said, Bhavati Nam, of you women, Viyoga, separation, me, from me, na, is not, he, indeed, Sarv Atmana, from the soul of all existence, Kvachit, ever, Yatha, as, Bhutani, the physical elements, Bhuteshu, in all created beings, Kam, the ether, Vayu Agni, air and fire, Jalam, water, Mahi, earth, Tatha, so, Aham, I, Cha, and Mana, of the mind, Prana, vital air, Bhuta, material elements, Indriya, bodily senses, Guna, and of the primal modes of nature, Ashraya, present as their shelter. Translation and purport by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Lord said, you are never actually separated from me, for I am the soul of all creation. Just as the elements of nature, ether, air, fire, water, and earth, are present in every created thing, so I am present within everyone's mind, life, air, and senses, and also within the physical elements and the modes of material nature. Please repeat. The Supreme Lord said, you are never actually separated from me. For I am the soul of all creation. Just as the elements of nature, ether, air, fire, water, and earth, are present in every created thing, so I am present within everyone's mind, life, air, and senses, and also within the physical elements and the modes of material nature. Purport. According to Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, the apparently philosophical language of Lord's statement conceals a deeper meaning. The Supreme Lord was secretly telling the gopis that he, by way of reciprocating their special love for him, were present with them not only as the soul of all creation, but also as their special lover. In this sense, the verse, in this sense of the word, verse, the word guna indicates the gopis' special divine qualities, which attracted Sri Krishna. And the word sarvatmana, which we have here, translated in reference to Lord Krishna himself, corresponding to word me, which is also the instrumental case, is also understood in the sense of sarvata, or completely. In other words, although in one sense Lord Krishna was absent, he could never be completely absent, since in his spiritual form he is always in the hearts and minds of the gopis. In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and other books, Srila Prabhupada has elaborately explained that the reason Lord Krishna separated himself from the gopis was to intensify their love for him. And as Uddhava noted, to bless other devotees by revealing to him the intensity of the gopis' love. In fact, the Lord was spiritually present with the gopis, since they are his eternal associates. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti further points out that foolish persons will conclude that Sri Krishna's use of philosophical language meant that the Lord was trying to bring the gopis to the point of liberation by explaining basic points of Krishna conscious philosophy. In truth, the gopis are the most exalted, liberated souls, and their pastimes with Sri Krishna must be understood with the help of authorized acharyas. When the gopis came to the rasa dance, Sri Krishna tried to preach karma yoga to them, emphasizing ordinary ethics and morality. But the gopis were beyond that. Similarly, Lord Krishna now offers them jnana yoga, or metaphysical philosophy. But this is also inadequate for the gopis, who have achieved spontaneous, unalloyed love for Sri Krishna. Om Jnana Trimandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshuranmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhutavacha Patita Nam Pamne Bhayo Vaishnave Bhayo Namo Nama Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, the translation again. My good ladies, now please hear your beloved's message, which I, the confidential servant of my master, have come to bring to you. The Supreme Lord said, "You are never actually separated from me, for I am the soul of all creation, just as the elements of nature, ether, air, fire, water, and earth, are present in every created thing. So I am present within everyone's mind, life, air, and senses, and also within the physical elements and the modes of material nature." Namo Vishwadaya Krishna Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Te Namane Prabhupada Se Sayata Prakasa Vitrasya Chapacharam Katu Sada Bhagat Padate Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Te Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pachani Nirvishesheshwani Adi Paschatya Desta. So, the purport already summarizes Jiva Goswami's and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentaries. This verse has really long and elaborate commentaries. So I'm going to, even though Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary is condensed in the purport, it's a long commentary, and there's some very sweet points in there. So I just want to go ahead and read, at least there's a whole bunch of Sanskrit. I'm going to pass on the Sanskrit in the interest of time. So just read the English. The first message gives instruction on knowledge, whose purpose is to reveal the unassailable strength of prema to the most intelligent and to cover the glories of prema from the dull-minded. See, through Uddhava I am teaching the gopis the nectar of knowledge, and that could not extinguish the fire of their love. Rather, that knowledge got consumed by heat of the fire of their love. Their prema has been proven the strongest because it has rendered useless Gyan Yoga taught by me, the Lord of the mind and yoga. It is just as the beginning of the Rasa dance. His instructions of Karma Yoga reveal the strength of prema to the confidential devotees. The Supreme Lord, the benefactor of all, taught jnana for liberation to the gopis, even though they are filled with the highest prema, in order to hide the greatest secrets, the glories of prema, from the ignorant people who think that they are learned. In this way, he nourished the devotees with the nectar of prema and cheated the non-devotees by giving some intoxicant. Like Mohini, the verse reveals two functions equally in relation to the devotees and the demons. Now let us continue with the explanation of the verse. This is the speech of Uddhava spoken in the past tense, but the text says, the Lord said. The reason is as follows. Though I have great love for the Lord, I find it difficult to understand the meaning of his words. Therefore, I will reveal his message as if he were saying it, keeping the ambiguity of his words intact. This is Uddhava. We've been talking about Uddhava coming to Braja, and his purpose is to deliver a message to the Lord and to the gopis, sorry. So, but then when he's in front of the gopis, he's saying that this message is too deep, too ambiguous for me. I don't understand it. So I'm just going to read it to you. And that's how somehow I feel about this verse as well. It is very deep, and we're going to try to understand it from the Goswamis. So, O gopis, you have never any separation from me. Therefore, why do you want to die with so much crying? How are you never separate from us? Because I am the super soul pervading all beings. All the scriptures, Gargamuni, and the Devatas such as Varuna say this. I am present as a super soul with your bodies, and therefore you are always united with me. In this statement, as with Krishna's instruction on Dharma at the beginning of the Rasa dance, there are hidden instructions on the conjugal dealings in order to prevent the gopis criticizing him later. On a day following the Rasa dance, the gopis criticized Kansa, saying, O Jwalmang lusty boys, why did you give us instruction on morality on the day of the Rasa dance? If you remember, earlier with the Rasa dance, the Lord plays, before the Rasa dance, the Lord plays the flute, and every gopi is attracted, and they leave everything they're doing, they run to Krishna. And when they get there, Krishna gives them a whole lecture on morality. He tells them this is not the way for young ladies to behave, for young mothers to behave, to wives to behave. You shouldn't be running to a strange man out there. So the gopis are totally devastated. They're like, what is this? First you attract us and then you reject us, and you're giving us this whole lecture. So they're saying, why did you give us instruction on morality on the day of the Rasa dance? Krishna then replied, O ignorant girls, on that day I gave instructions on how to enjoy conjugal rasa with me. How did you foolish girls ever conclude that I was teaching about moral principles? So Krishna says one thing and means another thing. And even though the gopis understand it completely, they pretend not to understand and show indignation. And our acharyas explain to us what really was happening. So Krishna then told them another meaning to his words of instruction before the rasa dance. In the same way, after being absent for a long time, at their future meeting, the gopis might ask, "O Lord of our life, why did you give us instruction on knowledge through Uddhava when we were suffering in separation?" Anticipating that, Krishna says, "O unintelligent girls, I taught you through Uddhava all about prema. How did you conclude that I was teaching about jnana?" So his words are talking about jnana, but he's really teaching them about prema. He then proceeds to give another explanation of the present word, which indicates prema, not jnana. "Your separation from me is not in all my forms, but only one, the body, na sarvatmana." Since Atma refers to body, soul, mind, and intelligence. Certainly, prema is the very nature of my Atma, and thus my soul, senses, and intelligence, Atma, all I reside in you. I took one body only, Atma, to Mathura. Atma. As well, your senses, intelligence, and mind, Atma, reside with me in Mathura. Only your bodies are situated in Braja. But all the scriptures have said also that I am dependent on prema. I am not independent in my prema. Thus the separation between you and me, who have a bond of prema, exists only in the separation of our bodies, gives rise to the sentiments of suffering in separation. Prema now, using that vehicle of separation, desires to increase to the extreme. Thus, even though I have great longing, how can I immediately bring my body to Vraja? But when that prema, once reaching its desired level and exhibiting full separation, ascends to the state of meeting, I can then bring that body to Vraja, being dependent on that prema. In this way, the separation of bodies will disappear. The external meaning of the second verse, part of the verse, is as follows. But as the source of all matter, I exist in all things. As all the elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, exist in all moving and non-moving creature, I am the shelter of all, the final cause of and effect. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur continues in this next verse. He's Jiva Goswami says in this. He says, the Lord said, actually means that Uddhava began reciting the words of Krishna's message. The past perfect vacha indicates that the speaking was completely in the past and the speaker was not present. One can say, did I lament while I was asleep? Using the past perfect or lament to indicate that one was not aware of lamenting. Thus the meaning is, I cannot understand what he said, but you gopis should try to understand the meaning. So the Lord says they will realize that even for ordinary devotees, Gyan is repulsive. Therefore, for a devotee engaged in bhakti with minds fixed on me, the cultivation of knowledge and renunciation is generally not beneficial for bhakti. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 20, 31. Then he quotes 3:15, 48. He says, persons who have realized you do not regard attainment of impersonal liberation as your mercy, what to speak of attaining a material position like Indra, which is subject to fear caused by the Lord raising his eyebrows. O Lord, those devotees surrendered to your lotus feet are expert, nor of rasa derived from narrations about your fame, which should be chanted and we purify everyone like a Tirit. The gopis are totally convinced by their personal experience, will then realize the highest level of sweetness of pure prema for me in my sfurti. I will place the real meaning with the conclusion, which testifies to the experience of prema within the external message for their perception. But even then, worrying that the gopi would reach the highest level of longing when realizing only his sfurti in that experience, he decides there should be third meaning concerning their internal pastimes. Realizing this, they should immediately become peaceful. By the power of my instructions, that plan will take place. Considering in this way, he then gives his message. So in the purport, there is also a lot of quotations in the stika about how the Lord is present in the aprakrita, invisible form, everywhere, and then how he is in everyone's heart in the form of Shyam Sundar playing the flute, and all the different pramanas on how the Lord is present in Mathura Mandal, in Vraj Mandal, in Vraja. And there's like pages of it. So we have been reading this, we've been talking about the last quite some time, ever since, well, we did talk about it at the Rasa dance time, and then when Krishna left him, and then when Akrura took Krishna, since then we have been talking about all this separation that Radharani and gopis are feeling. And then we talked about how Krishna expresses his separation from the gopis to Uddhava. And so it's not just the gopis who are crying in separation from Krishna. It is Krishna also who is crying in separation of gopis. And so this separation, as Krishna has explained, is explaining now and explained in the Rasa dance. He explained to them that he had created this separation because he wanted to increase the gopis' prema, the love that the gopis felt. And Prabhupada has explained over and over again that the love in separation is much higher than love in prakrita form, in the physical form. And the gopis actually feel much more love for Krishna after Krishna leave than even when they were there. Even when Krishna was there, the gopis were constantly feeling separation from him. Every time he disappeared from their view, he went to the forest, they felt separation. He went to sleep, or he went to his home and slept in his bed, whatever, they felt separation. They blinked their eyes, they felt separation. So at every moment that they couldn't see Krishna, they felt separation. And that separation increased their love for Krishna. So Krishna is doing this, is putting them through this viraha to increase their separation. And the gopis are eternally liberated. They always see Krishna. But then when they can't physically see Krishna, they feel the separation and the love. So it's like it's complex. It's like the Achinta Veda situation. But these gopis who are feeling separation, that is the kind of extent that we need to be getting to in order to get to a prema, loving relationship with Krishna. But we cannot do that by imitation. Sukdev Goswami says, imitation is the most dangerous thing. It's like, it's even, imitation of gopis is even more dangerous than imitation of Lord Shiva. If you all remember, Lord Shiva, when there was the churning of the ocean of milk to get nectar, Lord Shiva drank the first poison, first thing that came out of the ocean, which was poison. And that poison was so strong, it was like devastation. But Lord Shiva drank it and was able to control it within his throat. And that's why Lord Shiva has this blue line on his throat. He's called Nilkant. But we must follow in the steps of the gopis. And how do we do that? Lord Chaitanya has shown us that. He said, Gopir Paturpat Kamalora Dasana Dasana Das. That is our process. We don't approach Krishna directly. We don't approach gopis directly. We begin our service by serving the servants of Krishna, or servants of the servants of gopis. And so we have to become servant of another servant of Krishna. And for us, our Param Guru, Srila Prabhupada, is the greatest servant of Krishna. And we approach him through our gurus, individual Gurudevs, who are eternal servants of Srila Prabhupada. So, Lord Chaitanya has shown us the method. It's up to us to follow it so that we can attain love for Krishna. It's only through following Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya is very austere. He shows everything through his austerity. And he lives the life in separation of Krishna. He came to demonstrate to us how to live in separation of Krishna, from Krishna. Srila Prabhupada talks about the blissful nature of separation. He in Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virhename. In Shikshastakam, Lord Chaitanya says, O Govinda, feeling your separation, a moment feels like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. And Prabhupada talks about that. He says, for the devotees, Krishna's world feels empty. Devotees of Krishna, the world feels totally devoid of anything. And the love is what we are hankering for. And when we are hankering for love, any substitute for the beloved is useless. We cannot be satisfied with any other person, toy, material, our gadgets, the iPhones, the Galaxies, iPads, all of those. Beautiful cars, beautiful houses. But to a pure devotee, without Krishna, the whole world seems like a playroom filled with totally meaningless toys. Pure devotee only wants Krishna. How many of us can say that? I, for one, cannot say that. I'm still totally embroiled in Krishna's Maya. But eternally grateful to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev that we can come here to New Goloka Dham and taste, at least for a few hours of the day, taste just a little touch of that love for Krishna, which makes us get up. People like Mother Chaitanya getting up 2:30 in the morning. It's for no reason except that desire to serve, the love for Krishna. And we feel that in the morning, and then we go about our day. Or those of us who come once a week, Sunday feast, Sunday program, we feel that during those couple of hours. And then we go about our days, the rest of the week. So we need to come to a stage where the rest of the week becomes completely absorbed in Krishna. We go to work, we work for Krishna. We use our gadgets, we feel the connection. But we keep working towards it, and we pray that someday we're going to get that. And we believe someday we will get that because we believe in these acharyas of ours. So, if we truly feel separated from Krishna, or when we truly feel separated from Krishna, because right now we feel, we're separated from Krishna, we know that theoretically, but this is not so bad. Yeah, we have ups and downs, material life, we have suffering, but it's okay. It's not so bad. There's still fun. We get to attend all these nice programs, we have fun, we gather. That helps us through the week. We can keep going. But the true feeling really that needs to be there is to be feeling the separation, as Srila Rupa Goswami writes in Padyavali. He says, if I have to choose between union with Krishna and separation from him, I would choose separation, because when I'm with Krishna, I see only one Krishna, and when I'm separated from him, then I see Krishna coming towards me from every corner of the universe. So that's the feeling that Rupa Goswami feels. We don't. I want to get to the extent, somewhere when I go for a walk, I see Krishna in every tree, every plant, every piece of glass, every atom. To tell you the truth, I don't. But that is my aspiration, that one day that will happen. Sachinandan Maharaj said, I once met a devotee to whom I confessed the heart state of my heart. I never feel any longing for Krishna. Rather, I feel satisfied with the present state of my life. What can I recommend so that I can enter the world of spiritual feeling? This is Sachinandan Maharaj, right? What are we? The devotee's answer surprised me, he says. If you cannot hanker for Krishna, then hanker that one day you will hanker for Krishna. If you cannot hanker for that day, then hanker for the day when one day you will hanker for Krishna. He went on and on until his point was clear. Start somewhere. So, when we get there, we will have that aslisya padaratam pinashtuma madashanam marmato karotuva yatha tatha vidhatu lampato mat pranathastusa ena eva napara. So, Lord Chaitanya is saying, it doesn't matter whether you handle me roughly by your embrace or make me broken-hearted by not being present. You're completely free to do as you wish, anything, everything, because you are my Lord unconditionally. So, by hankering, that's the state we wish to achieve. Is this still? It is time, but since, okay. I was going to read one more thing, but we are good. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol, Shri Shri Radha Goloka Nanda ki jai.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Nandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Andani Asa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Bhaskachari Satarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Bhaskachari Satarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe, Jai Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe, Jai Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe, Jai Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Giri Govardhan, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnu Paramahansa Prabhu. बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तेस्तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशम् इह जानिनानुरागः त्रिनादपि शुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिन मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनैश्वरे भवताद् भक्तिर्हैतुकी त्वयि ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमीषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृषायतं शून्यायतं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लेष्य वा पादरतं पिनस्तु मामदर्शनं मर्महतं करोतु वा यथा तथा विदधातु लम्पटौ मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः प्रभुरशिष्टाष्टक श्लोक ये पढ़े सुने कृष्ण प्रेम भक्ति तर बड़े दिने दिने की जय। Victory to Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names.